Okay, so South Africa is not happy right now. Okay, not happy at all. With who? With the Eswatini leadership. Eswatini is this country right here. You can see it's a kingdom. I believe one of the last kingdoms, totally kingdom. Yeah, I don't know the English for that, but in the world. Okay, so the king is everything. The king is the boss. The king chooses everything. There's nothing like the king. I believe he has about 17 wives. Okay, don't judge the king. The king does what the king wants. We're going to talk about that just now. Now, why is South Africa not happy? South Africa is not happy because Eswatini has just signed an agreement with America. The agreement is about taking all these despicable people out of the United States of America and dump them in some country in Africa. Well, yes, despicable is the word that was used by an American diplomat to define the people that are being sent to Africa. The South African government has voiced deep concern over recent transfer of convicted criminals deported from the United States of America to neighboring Eswatini. Well, South Africa is very concerned about the profiles of these people. I mean, we're rejecting some illegal immigrants, and we're rejecting illegal immigrants that are rapists, killers, and all that stuff. That's totally different. It's also about national security and immigration policy, given the geographical proximity. I mean, look at this. This is Eswatini. It used to be called Swaziland, okay? I mean, look at this. This is a country inside another country, almost, okay? The right on north is Mozambique. In the south, everywhere else is South Africa. Basically, people from Eswatini are majority Baswati. And you find Baswati in Eswatini and Baswati in South Africa. So they're literally very same people. I mean, it's the white man that came and traced. I mean, they designed all that. They never existed in the past. Matter of fact, all these borders don't exist today. Yeah, you just need to take an airplane to see that. I mean, have you ever been in an airplane? Have you looked down as you fly? Do you see lines that separate? This is the border of my country. It doesn't exist. White people started that, okay? So Eswatini used to be, or it still is, matter of fact, geographically within South Africa. And they speak very similar language, like they can understand one another. They don't even need anybody to translate because they are the same people. Look at this. This is people from Eswatini, and these are the Zulus in South Africa. Look again, Eswatini and Zulus. What do you see the difference? There's no difference. Anyway, so because the country is within South Africa is not happy because they didn't check with them, right? There was no consultation with South Africa. Individuals convicted of serious crimes such as murder and rape will be in Eswatini with the potential of them running into South Africa. You know, I mean, South Africa has a lot of problems to deal with already. You know, there's a lot of crime happening in South Africa. A lot of it. I mean, matter of fact, when they talk about the cities in the world that are the most violent, there's always 3 cities of South Africa that appear every year. There's Johannesburg, Durban, and Cape Town. I mean, these are beautiful cities, no doubt about that. When it comes to, you know, plastic, it's beautiful to see. Beautiful to be. I mean, a beautiful experience. But it's dangerous. I mean, a lot of South Africans won't understand this because when you're born to a place where dogs are always fighting, you tend to become blind and, you know, you don't hear them fight anymore, right? You don't see it because it's part of your everyday life. Now, for the reality is different. There are still places you go, you don't want to go to. So who are these deportees to Eswatini? We're talking about individuals from Vietnam, from Jamaica, from Cuba, from Yemen, from Laos. I mean, yeah, Trump is taking people from all these countries and dumping them in Africa. I mean, I'm sorry, you know, the word dumping just sounds bad. But when you define somebody as despicable human being, we need to get them out of the United States of America. Do you send despicable things to your neighbors that you value? I mean, do you send despicable gifts to your cousins? You don't do that. I'm just saying, right? Where do you send despicable things? To trash, to the dustbin, to the dump. That's where you throw it. And historically, you've seen Donald Trump call these countries what? shithole countries. So let's send all the despicable people to the shithole countries. I'm not inventing anything. I'm just repeating what's been said in the past. Why isn't there none of these people being sent to France or Belgium or Ireland in the name of, okay, it's just immigration, let's send them to Ireland? Why have they not proposed any of these things to Germany? Why only African countries? That tells you a nice tale that you need to know. I mean, well, South Africa said we're not going to accept this. We're not happy with this. Well, I don't know if they're going to really push back, or it's just word, because we do know that South Africa is going through a very rough time with the United States of America right now, with sanctions and annihilation of AGOA. Not officially, but with the 30% tariff. We don't know if South Africa will really push. It's like I'm angry. I want to ask you to get out of my house, and I'm angry, but I can't ask you to get out of my house because I get money from you for electricity. You know what I'm saying? Eswatini government has confirmed that the men are being held in solitary confinement in a named maximum security facility. So Eswatini knows that these people are very dangerous. Well, available evidence indicate that Eswatini received payment from the United States of America. The US government covers incarcerated costs of the deported. So there's money happening here. There's not just money. Eswatini also want to be on the good books of the US right now. Now, is this you giving your behind to somebody you don't necessarily respect? Because Africans talk a lot of crap about the US. I'm sorry, this is the truth. You also, the US does European colonialism. But in the meantime, you're still bending over. I mean, despicable people to your country. I mean, how much money do you think it's worth that? Bringing those people that will potentially bring more crime and rapes and killings. I don't know. Does South Africa have the right to say, we're not happy with this? Because you're bringing people right next to our country. I mean, inside our country. These are criminals. Can South Africa push back? I mean, South Africa is a little back foot right now with the United States of America, with things that happen. Can they really push back? Say, we don't want these people near our country. Do you think America would accept Russia to send criminals and stuff right next to, Alaska or by Canada or something? I mean, they wouldn't accept that, would they? That means so much more. Let me give you an example. I believe the Zulus greet saying Sanibonani. Sanibonani means I see you. You know what I mean? It's not good morning. It's Sanibonani. It means I see you. Like I recognize you. I see your presence. You are not transparent to me. I am seeing you right now. It's beautiful, Thank you very much for stopping. I appreciate you. And it's your first time. My name is Zack. Thank you. This is family. You want to know about the motherland? You're at the right place. Look, there are plenty of videos on YouTube where you're going to find a lot of information. They're beautiful. They're nice. We appreciate them. But they're not this fun. Not at all. Thank you. Now, today we're going to talk about something very, very interesting. I know we all want to know about it. Here we talk about all the lands. We talk about Tanzania, Uganda, Malawi, Burundi, Rwanda, Nigeria, South Africa. We talk about it. So, something interesting is happening, fellas. The United States of America has changed everything. Now, the US will now require $15,000 deposit from people traveling from many African countries on a tourist visa. This is insane. $15,000. That's the bond you need to deposit to the US Embassy, to the official, for you to get a B1 or B2 visa. We're going to dive into this. The United States of America will require citizens from Malawi and Zambia to pay $15,000 deposit for a tourist or business visa, according to US State Department.
I think it will be a little unfair with the visitors because it's a lot of money for them. Because normally, I think when you come here, you spend, if you are here for 10, 15 days, you will spend maybe $4,000 or $5,000 US dollars. But if it's another 15 grand on top, it's just a lot.
Did you hear that? Does that sound fair? It sounds unfair, right? I mean, how do somebody get $15,000 to deposit to travel to somebody else's house? It's like saying, okay, for you to come to my house, you need to deposit, money to come see my house. Like, what's your house? What's your house all about? You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a level of superiority complex. Do you agree? You've got to see yourself superior to this person that's coming to see you for you to say they can enter your house or not. Or maybe saying, I have a restaurant, and my restaurant, you need to be wearing shoes that are worth at least $500 for you to enter. How much is $500 in South African rand? How much is it in Tanzanian? How much is it in Kenyan shillings? Now, the question is, do you want clients in your restaurant, or you don't want clients? Because if you're going to say that you will not accept clients that are wearing shoes that are not worth $500, then it means you have enough money, or at least you're targeting a specific group of people. You don't want to come in. You see in some clubs, they say before you enter, you must pay, right? Why do they do that? They try to cut out the trash. Have you noticed that the clubs that require a payment before you get inside are actually luxurious clubs? They make much more money than those clubs where people enter for free. Because when people enter for free, usually there's mayhem and havoc. There's fight. There's people breaking bottles because, it's the crust, the low quality of the human beings. But the clubs where they ask for money, deposits for you to enter, usually people go respect themselves. They buy big bottles and a lot of stuff. But the clubs where you enter for free, people don't buy big bottles. They buy small beers in the corners and they're fighting over nyash. You know what I'm saying? Is this the case from the United States of America? Is this a message to Africans saying that you are the lower grade of the people? So if you want to enter the United States of America, you need to bring a deposit. Well, the Americans say that Africans overstay. When you go to the United States of America, supposedly for a visit, to see a cousin that's sick, to go on a religious conference, you don't return. Even people who go to study, when they finish, they don't return. Therefore, they're going to install the system where you have to pay $15,000. Now, you're going to pay $15,000 to actually have your visa considered. And once you leave the United States of America on time, then they're going to reimburse you the money. Now, the question is, do Africans really care? Do Africans care? They don't care. Because let me put it this way for you. I know a lot of Americans are here and Caribbeans perhaps don't understand. In many African countries, people sell their houses so they can send a child to America or to Europe. I know it sounds outrageous. Yes, people will sell their land. They will sell their compound, like Nigerians people like to say. They will sell their yard. They will sometimes sell half of the yard. They live in a house, but they sell half of the house to somebody so they can acquire money to send somebody to America or Europe. Why? Because they believe when you go to Europe or America, your life is going to change imperatively. Somehow, I don't know why they think perhaps money falls off heaven when you're in Europe and America, but that's the concept many people have. People celebrate their child going to America. Yes, it's big party. He's gone. He left. Some people get into prayers for that. Yes, my brother, people will go in fasting. They'll fast 21 days. No drinking, no eating, just to get a visa to go to America. And going to America itself is like a massive achievement. I need to tell the truth. I mean, some of the Africans are feeling funny. Like, why are you exposing us? No, I need to tell the truth. Look, if you got a wound that's rotting, we need to say you got a wound so the doctor can find a way to find a solution to your wound. Or else they're going to chop your leg. How about that? Oh, why are you telling people I have a wound? You do have a wound, my brother. Let's fix your wound. How about that? Yes, people find going to America and Europe like an achievement. Like, I'd go to Europe and I return. It's like an achievement. Or I married a white man. It's an achievement for many Africans. Or I only date white. Yeah. It's shameful, but that's the truth. Now, why do people consider that as an achievement? Because of many lies also. And many lies which are many Africans that went abroad, whether it's America or other places, give a perception that they succeed in life. A financial perception, whether it's truth or not. In majority of cases, it's not necessarily truth. They will send pictures, videos, they will show off, they will do things, and sometimes it's illegality, sometimes it's money laundering, sometimes it's crazy. And they come back home and they build a house. Let's say it's something very illegal. They build a house, they do things. And what do the neighbor believe? The neighbor believe that, so the formula is simple. You just got to go over there too. So let's send our child. Maybe whatever these guys are doing, he's going to do too, so they can do good in life. And it's very sad. The other reason is perhaps genuine. A lot of African people are running away from Africa because of the situation, which is political. Many African nations are not democratic. Okay, people are actually oppressed in their own countries in a way that in many African countries, an African person cannot have a disagreement with a foreign person of a lighter skin. And I'm talking here about a Lebanese, a Pakistani, and Indian without having consequences. Let me repeat myself. In many African countries, when a black person has a problem with a Chinese, a Pakistani, or an Indian, he is beaten up by the police and thrown in jail. How? The Pakistani national or Indian will call somebody in the government or a general or a governor or somebody like that and say, I have issues with one of the locals. What occurs in most cases, for the general or whoever authority that comes, instead of protecting the local person, side of the Pakistani. Why? Because when many Pakistanis and Indians and whoever come to Africa, the first thing they do first, they look for an authority. They give them money, a lump sum for protection. So in whatever situation, even if the Pakistani or the Indian, the Lebanese was actually wrong in the situation, they're going to protect him at all costs. Now, when people live in those situations, they feel oppressed. They're tired because justice is bought. There's no justice for the poor. There is no food for the people. You can't stand in the street, say we are tired, we have no jobs. You're probably going to get shot. This is the reality of many African countries. I'm sorry, democracy in Africa is limited to a few countries, less than 4. I'm not going to name here, I'm sorry. There's 1 or 2 countries in Africa where you can actually stand in the street and wear a t-shirt that says F the president and nobody's going to arrest you. In some places, you dare open your mouth, say we're not happy because we're not being paid. You're going to jail. So some people have genuine reasons to run away. However, in most cases, people survive, they live, they find ways to have their life in spite of that. People survive, they find ways to curve the situation. They make a living even though things are not necessarily as clear as the West. Well, I don't think the law is racist. I mean, it could be racist, but you gave them reason to support the racism if the racism is there. I mean, even if you think the law was racist, why would you give them a reason to justify a law if it's racist? I mean, you go to other people's countries, you don't return. Okay? There's a superiority complex because Americans go to Africa. They do return in most cases. Now, some will stay, but not to the level of Africans. Okay? Most Africans go, they don't come back. People go study, they don't come back. The Gabonese president, this man right here, he said from now on he's not sending any more bursaries for Gabonese people to the United States of America.
This year, there will be no scholarships for the United States and none for Canada either, because studying there is expensive. You elected me to tell you the truth. It's expensive, and those who go there never come back. Did he tell you that?
What is a bursary? Bursary is an opportunity for you to study and come back. Okay, people go, they don't come back. So why should we pay for your travel again if we paid it initially so you can come and serve the country? Now, how do you develop your country if all you do is running away from your country? There's no way. Number 2, why do African people run away from their country instead of saying and fighting for their freedom? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because among the same Africans, when some of them stand up to fight the government that is evil, some other Africans fight those Africans. Why? Because some of those Africans come from the same tribe as the people in government who are oppressing everybody. In other words, many Africans are happy as long as the person in power is from their tribe. And I'm sorry, this is not maybe the case of everybody, but in great majority, when the person speaks your mother's tongue, you find all reasons to defend them, instead of you coming together as a nation and fixing the country. Yeah, that is wrong. America shouldn't do that. Africans should reciprocate. Surely, before you reciprocate, you need to love your country, love your continent. Number 1. Number 2, you need to invest in your continent. How about you go learn and come back to your country and your continent and invest? Number 3, how about you stand together against that politician or president that are oppressing everybody and stop defending people based on your tribal association? That's a big problem we have right there. That's a massive problem. Oh, he's from my tribe, therefore he must be right. That's a problem. Now, are American racist for doing this law? Well, I don't think it's racism. You must go fix your country. It's their country. Oh, it's their country. The good news is I see Senegal reciprocating already with a brand new law with immigration. Basically, Senegal is going to scrutinize every national from a country where Senegalese have no visa-free access. Meaning, if anybody from the United States of America want to come to Senegal, they need to be scrutinized. They're going to go through the very same process Senegalese are going through to America. Now, congratulations. We're going to talk about that on the next one. But, again, you shouldn't be touched because I know plenty of African Americans that feel like, oh, that's not productive for us. But yeah, they need to show a level of respect for themselves. Now, let me put it this way, fellas. When another African person says to you that, please don't come to my house, I have visitors, do you still go on the next time? It sounds not nice, right? Why would you say that to me? I have visitors. Can I not be a visitor too at your house? Am I not worthy enough to be a visitor or to be sat next to your visitors? What do you do in most cases? You cut off the relationship, right? You pull away. So why can't you do that with the United States of America of Trump? Because they're clearly showing you that they don't value or respect you. I mean, just imagine, they're sending all these gangsters and criminals to Africa. Matter of fact, Rwanda has agreed to accept 250 migrants. Yes, 250 deportees from the United States of America are going to be received in Rwanda. And Rwanda is okay with that. Okay, so in one side, it looks like business. Now, on the other side, the US is sending the people they don't want, the people they consider as trash to your country. Is that friendliness? I don't know. Like, would you send a snake to your brother's room because you value your brother? I'm sorry, I have to find an example. A lady authority in the United States of America say that these are some of the most despicable human beings. We're going to send them to friendly African countries. Now, my question is this one. Do you find a snake despicable? Some people do. I know a lot of people in America and white people don't feel that way. But many Africans don't like snakes. Now, if you don't like snakes, you find them despicable. Will you take a snake and put it in your brother's room? You wouldn't do that, right? Why don't they send those deportees to France? Or Belgium or Netherlands? Why don't they send to these countries? Why are they sending them to Africa? It means disuse some ways. I'm sorry, but you find a definition to that. Now, Rwanda has accepted to take people. Rwanda has agreed to accept up to 250 migrant deportees from the US, making it the latest country to acquiesce to diplomatic pressure from the Trump administration to take in some of the thousands of migrants that have been detained. Now, we have Rwanda, we have Eswatini that accepted people, we have South Sudan that taking people in now. Many experts believe it's because they're trying to have a good relationship with the United States. Same as other countries that have done it. They're trying to be in the good books of Donald Trump. Because America is a powerful country. Therefore, how about we say yes, sir? Yes, sir. I believe Gabon is also accepted with this president. I mean, look at him with his hat, MAGA hat. He was very criticized for wearing a MAGA hat. Like, how can a president from a free country wear a MAGA hat? Why doesn't he wear make Gabon great again? I mean, MAGA could also be make Gabon great again. But that one says make America great again. So he was criticized for that. So these countries in Africa are accepting criminals that are rapists, that are unalivers. Now my question, would you send a criminal, rapist, unaliver to your brother's house? I don't know if you would do that. As for now, we have Malawi and Zambia that part of the list of the countries that $15,000 deposit for visa application. Now the list is going to be enlarged. They're going to list more countries in the days to come. My question is this. Is it a good thing that they're asking for $15,000 before you get a visa? I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing because it's going to wake Africans up. Number two, is this going to work? Well, it might not work, not necessarily. I mean, for somebody that wants to run away, they're still going to run away. I mean, some of these people cross this, look at this. They cross these deserts in Northern Africa. Look at the map. You see the map? This is Northern Africa. People traverse Northern Africa to go to Europe, okay? If they're willing to risk their lives like that, I don't think $15,000 will stop them. But overall, I think this is a message. I mean, if you thought that criminals being sent to Africa wasn't a message, this is a clear message. They don't want you over there. Stop forcing yourself in a place they don't want you. Go to the continent, okay? If your country is a shithole country, at least go to the next country and be a decent human being. I'm sure if you're a decent human being, you bring some skills, something positive, they will have no issues with you. Unless you're doing drugs and human trafficking and cop robbery and stuff, then please stay in your country, okay? But stop forcing yourself. It's clear. You can't call Trump racist. It isn't. Did he come to your country to apply racism? No, he didn't. Whatever you're calling racism is being applied. Now, the government of Tanzania has moved to protect local enterprises by prohibiting non-citizens from engaging in a wide range of small and medium businesses activity. Is this a good thing? Is this selfishness? Or is selfishness allowed in certain cases? We're going to find out about that. How about the people that live there but that are not necessarily Tanzanians? How are they going to live if you said they shouldn't sell bananas in the street? Let's find out about this. A directive signed by the Minister of Industry and Trade, Selemani Saidi Jaffo, announced that foreigners will no longer be permitted to operate in several businesses traditionally dominated by Tanzanian nationals. Now, what business is this? Let's find out. We're talking about mobile money transfer, okay? You know, mobile money transfer is basically if you want to send money to your cousin in the village and you don't have a bank account. It happens a lot in many African countries because not all African countries have bank accounts. I mean, not African people. Some people, I mean, you get what I'm trying to say. It's very easy because everybody's got a cell phone. If you have a cell phone, you can send money to your cousin in the village without having to go through the complexity of a bank account and stuff. Because if you're going to send through a bank account, you better have a bank account too. So somebody with this genius found that everybody has a cell phone, but not everybody has a bank account. Therefore, you can use your cell phone to send money like a bank account. Now, when you send money through a bank account, sometimes you have, businesses that will help you send the money through a cell phone, but they take a percentage. You know what I mean? The next business where foreigners are not allowed is mobile phone and electronic repairs. So you can't have a mobile phone stand or repair cell phones. Only Tanzanians can do that. The saloon business, we're talking about hair, haircut and stuff, unless it's in a hotel or for tourism purpose. If you have a hotel and you have a saloon inside, fine. If you don't, you cannot have a saloon as a foreigner. Home office and environmental cleaning. So cleaning of companies, cleaning of homes by company can only be done by Tanzanian. With small-scale mining, Tanzanians only. Postal and parcel delivery, Tanzanian only. Tour guiding, Tanzania is beautiful. Somebody who perhaps a foreigner who doesn't want to be a criminal perhaps will want to show you around, and get paid for it. That's for Tanzanians only. Owning and operating a radio or TV station. Okay, that goes without saying. Gambling machine and operations outside casinos. Tanzanians only. So I think you understand a little bit where we're going. Okay, is this a good thing? Trying to promote the locals to better themselves, to get opportunities. Now the question is, what if the locals don't want? Now, how the foreigners are disrupting the locals? Question mark. Now, who are the foreigners we're targeting? We're going to talk about it. Tanzania is targeting Chinese traders, okay, because many operate in small retail outlets. You see Chinese everywhere. Chinese, in most cases, have left China coming to Africa as a new land because there's a lot of Chinese people in China. So they need to find another place where they can stay. Do you know that in China, there was a time where you could only have one child? Do you know that? There were so many Chinese. The government made a law. Every couple could only have one child. You can't have two children. That was China. But right now, well, in order to alleviate the pressure, they've allowed many Chinese to go to other lands, to other continents, especially Africa, because you like to praise all foreigners. They've acquired land, they have farms, they have businesses, and now they're competing at the lowest level. Okay, they were supposed to be selling big things. They're not selling big things anymore. They're selling the small bullfrog. That's how it's called in Ghana. Magwinya, that's how it's called in South Africa. Mandazi, that's how it's called, I believe, in Kenya and Tanzania and Congo. You see, Africans have a lot in common, right? Okay, so we need to stop the hate between each other. Tanzania found out too many Chinese are growing into the informal business, and this is not good for the country. They're targeting Indians and Pakistani nationals. They're very much involved in the electronics, mobile services, and wholesales. I mean, in many countries where you go, even in South Africa, you see a lot of Pakistanis doing electronics and mobiles. I mean, Is this a good thing to try to push away the Indians and the Chinese and the stuff from the informal market? It sounds logical. I don't know if an African can go to India and start an informal market, or in China. I don't think you can do that. So I think Tanzania has something, they're working on. Now, it's not limited to that. In Tanzania, you find also people from Burundi, Rwanda, DRC, Uganda, and Kenya that have mobile kiosks and many small shops. They have cleaning services. They have low capital businesses in both the town and Dar es Salaam. Okay, so these, as you can see, we were saying Burundi, Rwanda, DRC, Uganda, and Kenya. These are neighboring countries. They're all part of the East African community. Now, what we know is East Africans have generally benefited from regional integration, but this law may affect them disproportionately. Okay, this is a brand new law that was introduced by a Minister of Industry named Selemani Sahidi Jaffo. But it sounds very good, trying to get all these foreigners out of the business. Okay, but how about the people that are your neighbors? Now, these are not just neighbors. You have a contract with these neighbors. You have a community that is called the East African Community. So Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, DRC have a contract. It's called the East African Community. It's a project with the goal of being federalism. The goal is to bring Africans from the East together to form a bloc, a little bit like the United States of America. It's like you have one rule that says that people from Colorado only are allowed to do it's not official yet, but that's the direction they're moving. By implementing this law, you're going to get victims from most of these countries, from Congo, from Burundi, from Rwanda, from Kenya, and other things. Yes, Tanzania new directive restricting non-citizens from certain small and medium businesses may conflict with the principle of East African Community, especially regarding the free movement of people, labor, service, and right of establishment. So you can see they've already implemented a text. They've come together where people from all these countries can go to the next country with no visa. And not just that, they can go and stay and live. And not just that, study and create a life with no problem. It's a choice they made. Now, coming with this law could be detrimental to that. The East African Community is a regional intergovernmental organization that was established to promote economic, political, social integration among its members. It was originally formed in 1967 by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, but collapsed the first time in 1977 due to difference in political and ideological views. But then it was revived on the 7th July 2020. You know, Africans say, okay, you know what? That thing died. We need to revive it. It was a good thing, good idea to bring Africans together so they can work like a family, okay? Let your kids come together. Let's break the borders because these borders were created by the white man. I know South Africans don't like to eat. No, we're not talking about South Africa right now. We're talking about East Africa. Well, the thing is, anyway, let's not get into that. So they said, let's create a community where these people all speak Swahili anyway. They all have very similar cultures, similar mentality. Okay, they understand and respect one another. Let's create a facility. I mean, all these countries are rich. There's no poor country here. Let's make it a nice place where people can see each other. They can learn each other's cultures. They can grow. They can build. That's what the goal is. Now, which countries are part of this? There's Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan is part of it, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Somalia. Somalia joined in 2023, but, you know, they're still looking, you know, Somalia... People, anyway, let's not talk about somebody. What were the main objectives? Number one, establish a common market like Europe. So a common market for the people, for goods, for services, for labor, for capital. So how can you establish a common market if some people are limited to certain things and other people are limited? It's not possible, is it? Number two, enhance peace and security in the region. So if any other country has a threat, like terrorists or something, everybody will come together and beat the living crap out of the terrorists. That was the established mentality. Let's come together. If we have anybody bothering peace in this area, we crash it together. I know there are many objectives, but I'm just going to cite three. Number three was a monetary union, meaning in the future, they're going to have a common currency so they can be strong, like euro, like dollar. These are not one state. These are multiple states together. That's the only way. Well, the EAC is very clear. It says, number one, allow citizens of member states to freely move, work, reside in any AEC country. So everybody should work, move, and live with no problem. Number two, permit the right establishment of residence. What does that mean? EAC citizens can set up businesses, engage in self-employment, provide services across border under equal conditions. So what does that mean? In principle, a Kenyan or a Ugandan should be able to open a shop or run a small tour company in Tanzania without being discriminated against. Well, fellas, this depends, okay? It depends on the interpretation and implementation of this new law. If the restriction applies equally to non-citizen and EAC passport holders, then Tanzania could be violating the rule. However, if Tanzania exempts EAC nationals and creates bilateral or regional carve-outs, then it could still be within the legal bounds. So Tanzania has to make things clear for the EAC citizen so everybody understands. I think Africa has been fighting very hard for the longest time to try and bring people together. And I don't think any move that goes against us is nice, because then it sets everybody back. Our forefathers were fighting for one Africa. I know South Africans don't like that, especially with the Zimbabweans and the Nigerians. South Africans and Nigerians and Zimbabweans have problems there. Okay, look, the Nigerian issue is a big issue. I think Africa should come together except Nigeria. Keep Nigeria aside until Nigerian problems are resolved. Then we can look into that. Okay, Nigeria and Somalians. Okay, Somalians have Boko Haram and stuff. So maybe Nigeria and Somalia can come together for now, right? And Africans can move together. And for South Africa, you can allow South Africa with everybody else of Zimbabwe. So everybody else except Zimbabwe with South Africa can cooperate. I think South Africa is, in most cases, I mean, are they xenophobic? Yeah, there are xenophobes in South Africa, but the majority are not xenophobe. There are a bunch of xenophobes. They're from one specific province. But, But majority of South Africans are not xenophobe. They have no issues with Congolese, no issues with Kenyans, no issues with Ghanaians. They have issues with specific people. Anyway, Africa has to come together, my brother. To the mountain, to the sea. We have to the. Did I say it right? To the mountain, to the sea. We have to come together. Now, what is the worry here? The worry is one thing. Uganda and Kenya have previously criticized Tanzania for restrictive and protectionist trade practices. So they were trying to keep them outside the business, even though they signed. Okay, in the past, they said that Tanzania was blocking import from EAC states. Let's say Tanzania have some good. I'm just finding a stupid example. Mango. This is not the case. I'm just giving an example. It's like Tanzania's got mango, but the other people are bringing mango at a lower price. So Tanzania could perhaps block you from bringing in your stuff on time. When you bring your mango not on time, they rot, right? I'm not saying that's what will happen. That's what the case could be, as Kenya and Uganda complain. Number two, they say Tanzania restricted access to local markets. The good thing is EAC has a mechanism for dispute resolution, but enforcement is often slow and political. I think when you come together with a good decision, I think you already know it's a good decision. Whether it was your forefather that took it, you need to continue on that trail. Sometimes it's going to be difficult, but my prayer is that this law doesn't apply to EAC citizens, because it's going to be setting us back a long time. No doubt about that. I think the goal here is to bring Africans together. I mean, these people live like brothers. Tanzanians and Congolese, DRC and Ugandans and all of that, they have no problem at all. In these countries, they don't ask you which tribe are you. They don't ask you that. You just say, hey, VP, poa, tulewe basi. No, don't drink beer. Don't drink alcohol. Anyway, let me know how you feel about this. It was a great pleasure. Is this a good thing for the Chinese? Is this a good thing for the Pakistani and Indians? Why? Because reciprocity. You can't go to China and open a shop that sells small bread and little cakes. They will not allow you. You go to jail for that. You can't go to India and start, selling meats in detail, like 1 kilogram of meat, or switch, or repairing cell phones. We appreciate that the Pakistanis and the Indians for creating an affordable market where you can fix your cell phone and stuff. But you need to get our own people to try to do these things. Now the problem is, what if the people are lazy? What are you going to do? Let's say you close all these shops that belong to the Pakistanis and stuff, and the people refuse to take up that task. What do we have now? We're going to have shortage of cell phone repairs shops or what? Let me know how you feel about this. I want to know how you feel about this. Fellas, YouTube say a lot of you guys watch videos, but you're not subscribed. Why are you not subscribed? We need to make this make sense. You like this? Please, let's contribute. Okay, I'm not asking you for money because I know you won't. Black people don't like that. You only like contribution when it comes. No, you don't like that. It's okay. People that do it, they are part of the group, private group. I appreciate you. I respect you. You are the people, and we're gonna have our live this weekend. Please be present. For the other people, I just want you to do this and drop a comment and subscribe if you're not done. I appreciate you. There's a lot of videos of our people where they're talking about stupid things. Like Victoria's Secret, Puff Daddy coming out of jail. Do you want to hear that? I'm sure you don't want to hear that, right? But that says a lot of engagement. People like and comment and stuff. Why can't we do the same for some things that are intellectual? And let's keep this alive. Okay, let's it's within your hand. Let me know how you feel about this. Great pleasure. Should Tanzania prioritize Tanzanians? Sounds like a good thing. But Tanzania want to be part of the EAC, the East African community, where everybody comes together and builds something strong, because they realize that alone you can go fast, but in group you can go further. Does this apply to them? We don't know yet. But when clarification will be done, we hope that it doesn't. Let me know how you feel about this. Great pleasure. God bless. Look at the explosion. Whoop, whoop, kabab!